So this is my assortment of M18 nailers that I purchased from the Home Depot over time. Um, I started with this particular one, and then I believe the second one that I purchased was the Brad nailer, and then eventually I bought um, the crown stapler, or not the crown stapler, the regular stapler to, like reupholster furniture and stuff like that. And then of course, just to kind of fill out the whole set, I went ahead and picked up the 16 gauge, and then also the crown stapler. So I I think it was the crown stapler. So I got the whole set, and overall I would say I'm happy with it. I think like if you were just like a DIY, like a homeowner that just did projects here and there, I think this whole setup is is useful. It does it does what it's supposed to do. I wouldn't say it's the most overpowered system. Like I did have difficulty driving a 2.5 inch nail fast. Like if I was to take two 2x4s and lay them together, this will not consistently pin those together and actually put the nail head below the surface. The nail head would be sticking out about 1/4 inch or more, and that didn't. This is a 6 amp-hour battery on here, and the actual depth gauge was turned all the way up to the max, and it just did not have the power to drive a nail all the way through. Now, the crown stapler, it's okay. It does fine, and as I said, these tools, they're convenient, if you're getting into woodworking and, you don't want to have to use an air compressor. Now, these tools are heavier than using their air counterparts, but you also don't have to use a compressor. And Home Depots are everywhere, so if you buy a set like this, and then you get the little warranty, then if the tool goes bad, then you can just take it back up there and get it exchanged. Now, the only thing that I would say that you would have an issue with these particular nailers is if you're using woods that are a little bit harder, and you need to drive the nail all the way through, or to sink the nail below the surface when you're fastening two pieces together, then you may have some challenges with this set, and that would drive you to look to something like more of either going back to air or investing in the more expensive platforms, which would be the DeWalt or Milwaukee brands. As I said, depending upon what you're building, I've had these, I've owned them for quite a while, and I use them all the time. I don't necessarily, at the time when I purchased them, I don't even know if DeWalt had their nail gun out when this was originally put out. But this tip, it's got the non-marring tip, but it's not a fine point. As you can see on this Brad nailer and this pin nailer, and maybe even a little bit on this actual crown stapler, you see it's just a different type of tip, which in a way you could say it's a little bit less precise as far as on your sight line. But as I said, if you're not making, you're not trying to make master craftsman furniture, which I'm nowhere near that level yet. It's fine. It's very useful to get you into building, using air nailing tools. Knowing what I know now, I would not buy this set. Knowing what I know now with what's available now in 2021, I would save more money and invest a little bit more and go with more than likely the Milwaukee branded nailers, not because, I think that Milwaukee is the best, but I think that especially with the recent release of their M15, or no, their 15 gauge and 16 gauge nailers, along with their second gen brad nailer and their framing nailer, you'll have this, entire setup that I have here, and it will be overall, I would say, across the board more powerful, with the exception of the pin nailer and the stapler, because the pin nailer and the stapler are actually on an M12 platform for Milwaukee. They're smaller, more compact and comfortable tool, lighter, but maybe not quite as powerful as these M18s and the Ryobi. But these other three, the crown stapler, the 15 and 16 gauge nailers, and the brad nailer, I believe you're going to find just a little bit more power and consistency with that Milwaukee brand, and or the DeWalt if you go with that. The DeWalt brand is a little bit older, but there are a lot of people complain about the flywheel wind up sound with using those nailers, and if I'm ever fortunate enough, I will invest in that platform as well, just so I can compare. I mean, I'm big on really knowing the difference between one thing, measuring one thing against another, and I've been fortunate enough thus far to be able to measure this Ryobi set, which I purchased, against my Air set, and then now against the Milwaukee tools that I have now, and I feel good about the direction that I'm moving in regards to being able to acquire tools that are going to help me to be more efficient and effective with the minimum amount of time that I actually have working in my own personal shop. So anyways, thanks for taking time to watch the video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to try to answer your question if I do have the answer. Thanks, and have a great day.